We have Miss V also in the studio from 8, and I know that we're going to have some great 20 minutes with her because she now has some new project that she is embarking on and would want to apprise us of what her new works are. She also has a new latest single, and I'm sure that all of us are going to enjoy it. We'll wait for her, but in the meantime, and then also Festus and Ferdinand Yeridon of Evergreen International School, Bolga. Your wife's birthday also was on the 21st, or is on the 21st as well, but the 16th was for your children. And well, when we get to the river, we'll cross it. That's the 21st. But Francis Yeridon, apologies for not giving you all those highlights before the period. But in the meantime, we have to look at the newspaper. So we have a couple of them in the studio. Let's start with the biggest daily that we have. It's the Daily Graphic. So we have on the front page a lot of news called out from the president's speech on Sunday evening, his latest updates on how, as a country, we're doing with our COVID-19 management and its situation right here in Ghana. So we have it captioned, "Normal life in sight, COVID-19 restrictions continuing, and airports hopefully will reopen September 1. They also, it did indicate, as we brought to you live here on JoyNews, President advising us to adhere to the social distancing rules. President congratulates also the Electoral Commission and says Ghana is getting closer to the full normal way of life, as President Akufo-Addo also has announced the easing of more coronavirus restrictions. In the latest streak of easing, the president lifted the cap on the number of people who could attend conferences, workshops, and award events, subject to the maintenance of social distancing among participants, ventilation of the premises, and a 2-hour limit for each session. He also indicated that the opening of the borders by air could start from September if all conditions were constant, as we have them, or have even improved. That's a good thing. I welcome that. I'm talking about that. If Antoinette, you live in Romford, good morning to you. We all look forward to the borders reopening. Romford is in the UK, by the way. In his 15th address to the nation last night on the status of Ghana's coordinated effort to defeat, according to how the Daily Graphic puts it, the COVID-19, that's the virus, the president said, "We have gradually moved to restoring normalcy in some aspects of our lives. Our phased approach towards returning our lives to normal through the strategic control, progressive and safe easing of restrictions will thus continue." On the front page of the Daily Graphic again, we have license revocation has caused health problems. Dr. Indum says a story, I'll bring that to you, it's on page 20. And then Parliament also approves 5 mineral royalties agreements, or Parliament approves 5 minerals royalty agreements. This has been dominating the social media platforms as well, over which names and one of the entities. So we do have also India making inroads into COVID-19 vaccine. 3 clinical trials underway, according to the Indian High Commissioner to Ghana, Sugan Rajaram, and his photo is on the front page captioned. Okay. Now let's go to the back page. The back page says, "New weighbridge constructed at Tema Community One." A story filed by Benjamin Glover. It's also they're talking about how this is also expected to help improve revenue collection related to axle loading and then the cutting of goods in and out of the harbour. Let's go to the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times has on the front page a number of stories also that are well linked to COVID-19 and the president as well. It says, Ghanaian Times, "Ghana winning COVID-19 battle. President declares as he further eases restrictions." You also do have land sea borders remain closed, but again, we have to tell you, he did indicate that by September 1, if all conditions are constant or have improved, we will see some of these restrictions eased considerably. And he also did indicate on condition that we are able to assess whether we could test passengers who could come in. And you know, Ghana's airport in the sub-region is one of the most patronized, according to IATA and the rest of the group. And so 1 hot meal a day for junior high school and senior high school students, that's a good one. Consultations ongoing on reopening of pre-tertiary schools. Down there, though, we have the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, Zoom Lion, also presenting pickups to Interior Ministry as a good one from both sides, especially Zoom Lion, making sure that while they make the effort to complement government's own objective of improving the situation of COVID-19, improving sanitation as well, Zoom Lion also complements that, but also making some of these donations of accoutrement facilities, depends on how you want to call it, to ease the agencies that are expected to do the border management and all that. And the Ministry of Interior is the latest recipient of pickups from Zoom Lion. House also approves 174.7 million Ghana cedi COVID-19 tax waiver for health workers. And fire renders 600 slum dwellers homeless at Shashi as another gut 4 shops in Takrade. We'll take you live on the show this morning to the Shashi area where we have a number of these dwellers or squatters, as people would want to refer them as they have been affected by fire that gutted their abode on Saturday. On the back page, we have Ghana receives medical supply support from Korean organizations. It's also there. And then Gamashin celebrates Homowo. Because of COVID, not a lot of noise has been made about the Homowo. But again, it's a celebration that is worth it. If you're somebody who has participated in the Homowo, you should know that the pokoi and the rest of the meals are always available for you. And following that, we'll have other traditional areas also celebrating. I don't know, the Ojra and the rest, Asogli State also will be celebrating the Teza, usually like participating. And then we have also the Ogwa Fitu Afashe, people of Ogwa traditional area, or Cape Coast, also will be celebrating. At least from September, we'll see the easing of restrictions. So we'll go and celebrate with all these people. Now let's look at the Custodian. The Custodian has on the front page a number of stories that also is focusing on what had been in the trends when it comes to social media. So we do have the Custodian, and it has on the front page, NDC smears Oppong Nkrumah with vile propaganda. And we do know this is premised on, a statement that the Information Minister and also Member of Parliament for Francois Yebre seem to have made in reaction to one by his colleague on the minority side, Jinapo, and seem to have been trending on social media, and it's also taken advantage of by the opposition, and a lot of brouhaha, I have to say, has been generated as a result of this because of the words that were used, papano. Obiamwa deflates NDC. Also there, good morning to Obiamwa, is a regular watcher of the show. Akufo-Addo to hand over after Secretariat to the African Union Commission today. And you know that we're hosting the Secretariat, so that's a good one. It means that we've made strides as a country on the continent. Well, we're respected. We've always been respected, but look, this one also just further consolidates how well we've done over the last decade or two. Savannah MPP Women's Organizer embarks on Operation Add Your Vote campaign. So the electioneering is on in full swing. On the back page, top 10 biggest Ghanaian soccer flops of all time. And I tell you, we have Justin Opoku of Inter Milan, was supposed to have been a good prospect, was not successful. Fiorentina also had a midfielder in Amidou Salifu, Kevin Osei, Olympic Marseille, just couldn't just make the cut. You know, football is hard. That's how it goes for everybody. So football is very difficult. So if you, and then Daniel Opari, of course, is there. Real Madrid, there's Richmond, Boachi, Adom. But I would say that they really have flopped. Compared to the locals, they're still doing well. But compared to some of the top or the greats that we've had in our country, they just haven't seemed to have gotten the same accolades. So maybe that's why the paper decided to take a look at it as the Custodian. Audu Mahama, good morning to you. You're the managing news editor of the Custodian. Now, let's look at the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide has on the front page, NDC MPs fight over Papano. And we have Haruna Idrusu pictured in there, inserted in there. His picture is inserted. A bigger picture is the one for Kujo Oppong Nkrumah, who is the Minister for Information, Member of Parliament for Fuanse Ayurebi. And the story, we all do know that, well, Joseph Opoku, our lead correspondent, did report on that. What did he say? He said, Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage my colleagues on the other side, especially my friend who just spoke. In my hometown, we will say Papano. I want to encourage Papano to take some time and follow the structure of this conversation and support. But we also do know that it drew a lot of contestation and anger, which was led by the minority leader, Haruna Idrusu. And subsequently, I think that's where the media, including all of us, just didn't do the right sort of report. It was retracted, and this clarity has been made by the Minister for Information. But the minority did indicate, if you don't withdraw, we won't recognize you today as a minister. And they continued on and on. Well, back page, Legon City support military. We're talking about the back page of the Daily Guide. So Legon City support military has an inserted picture of officials of the Legon cities and Gulf Energy with top hierarchy of the Ghana Armed Forces. We also do have Guardiola laments Lyon leaking. Okay. Bassa, they've sacked their coach after the 8-2 drubbing or humiliation by Bayern Munich. Very bad. Meanwhile, Muntari dazzles Akono. Okay. Let's go to the Observer. The Observer, the Ghanaian Observer has on the front page, Papano, information ministers just routes NDC into mudslinging. And Afanyo marking John Kuma score high marks in MPP stop official or top influential youth activists. That's for the governing party. Ghana makes major progress in COVID-19 fight. Year of roads on course as VIP Baumia cut sword for the Tema Beach Road project. The story about Zoom Lion and the Ministry for Sanitation and Water Resources donating 3 pickups to the Interior Ministry also is captured on the front page of the Observer. And according to the rationale for the donation, it is to enforce environmental bylaws. And we do know that the military, as well as other security forces, have been very instrumental in desilting many of the drains we have in the capital, foremostly by Zoom Lion, and supervised by the ministry with some complementary force, personnel of the various security agencies, especially the military, making good what their promises will be to ensure that within the period they are able to improve on the sanitation situation. You would recall that during the lockdown, Accra was clean, 100% clean. There are pictures and videos to that effect. But after we just reduced the restrictions, then Ghanaians went into the elements. While you blame the waste management company, you should also know that the foremost responsibility is also with us. The way we litter is just indiscriminate. Yeah. It's just discriminately done and not adhering to the right protocols. Now, let's go to the new publisher, the new publisher. So the new publisher has on the front page, Papano goes to Parliament as minority goes mad. Saboteurs on rampage at the Municipal Assembly. Onma. And then we have PDS scandal haunts government. Nanado silence on gargantuan fraud 1 year on raises curiosity. So that is also captured there. Now let's go to the Statesman newspaper. The Statesman has on the front page, "We offer support because we care. Akufo-Addo replies detractors over freebies." This one also has generated some reactions on social media. It depends on which side of the political divide. If you monitor what the comments are, they'll say the president was just throwing a lot of jibes and dicks at the opposition. Well, we're in the political season. President is the foremost candidate for his ruling party. So, but anyway, so we go to the Ghanaian Publisher. The Ghanaian Publisher has on the front page, Mahama chastises Akufo-Addo over free water, electricity, others. Attack dogs descend on Oppong Nkrumah. We also do have, and Akufo-Addo also hits back with providing critical help, not freebies. That's in reaction to what John Dramani Mahama, former president and the flag bearer of the NDC, has been saying on the campaign trail. Pastor urges MPP to withdraw Tema West aspirant. Meanwhile, Dr. Baumia is announcing that 595 kilometers of roads in Ghana have been asphalted since 2017. It's a story by the Daily STATESMAN. I find it very interesting. And we'll do a lot of election analysis in the coming weeks. You'll get to know right here on the show what the permutations are. And this one is quite interesting. This one is quoted from the latest Afro barometer, or the Afro barometer from the survey. It indicates Afro barometer over the last 10 years is revealing that unemployment is a key problem for Ghana's young people. It's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. You see it on your screens, because down there they also did indicate that just as part of the figures that have been compiled by the Electoral Commission, we have young people aged 18 to 19, numbered 1.3 million, okay, on the register. They can change the government anytime. 1.3 million. You know, the MPP won by 1 million, or less than 1 million, we have to say. But if this is the figure, it also means. But it's also because the policy intentions of the parties need to be readily targeted to make do what their promises are on the campaign trail in relation to how they can create enough jobs for young people. But before that could be done, the economy also needs to improve. There needs to be creation. It's unfortunate that we have COVID, but the reality is that many young people, and because of COVID, even other sections of the population have been affected as well. But we'll steadily get there, won't we? Nigerian traders warn about closure of their shops. It will affect Ghanaians in Nigeria. There's a threat coming on. And you know that before the end of the last week, or before the weekend began, we had the task force that was supposed to implement the JIPC local retail laws going to close shops that belong to Nigerians and other foreigners, but mainly Nigerians, because we brought that story to you. Nanaya PSC, Safo PSC went there and had all the story brought to us. But it's also because we did have a lot of concerns being raised by the Nigerians, but it's also because the concern on the part of the task force and the Ghanaian traders is that they flout the local retail laws, because the GIPC really has that law that says that who, or indicates who can take part in any form of venture. If you're a foreign entity, the sort of capitalization you need for that incorporated company of yours, or the venture, who is supposed to be part of your directors, etc. So that is clearly spelled out. So the question is, why have we sat down for this to decay to the state before now it looks like our local traders are taking the law into their own hands and arbitrarily just abusing their foreign counterparts? This has to be done legally, and I'm hoping that all of us will settle the scores rightly. Now, we do have NDC's running mate on 10-day tour of 5 regions, and that is also on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. But that's where we end, because we just give you the front page of the Finder. 33.40 33.44 million fraud hit banks. We're talking million of Ghana cedis. It's on the front page of the Finder. And this story, look, staff responsible for 98% of suppression of cash and deposits. Banks, financial institutions. All right, we have to go for a break. When we come back, we're going to have Asari Bediako bringing to us the latest sports headlines. Do stay with us.